studied everything and looked at where Gary was under his existing contract compared to other coaches, I thought that we ought to tear up his contract for this year, 2010, and give him a boost in pay over what he would have been getting that would put him more in line with other coaches who have performed in a similar fashion. And so I thought that was a fair thing to do, and that's what we did.
I know it is taboo in the NFL to have guys working under lame duck situations here, but this team had not made the playoffs in the 4 seasons. There's a lot of angst about not making it this year. Did you ever contemplate saying, you know what, I'll pay him, I'll give him the contract that he wants down the road, but
well, the problem with that is we needed an offensive coordinator and a quarterback coach, and for him to go out and hire those people, and they know that he only has 1 year left on his contract, they say, how secure am I going to be going there as opposed to going with another club where the head coach has 2, 3, 4 years left on the contract. So it does impact the decisions that those assistants make.
How long did you think about this? I mean, did you have this in the back of your mind to extend him a month ago? Was it after the last regular season game? What made you come to say, all right, we've got to figure a way to tear this up and show the folks that you're behind the coach here?
Well, I really went back and had to do the analysis, and we did it on 31 teams, other teams. And we looked at their records. We looked at the records of all of them for the 4 years prior to the existing coach being there and what had happened in their 4 years, and compared that with what Gary had done. We looked at what we are doing in terms of offense and defense, what kind of improvement we've made over 4 years. And then I think one of the biggest things is that when you look back at this season, we played 16 games. And of those 16 games, 15 of them, we were in a position to win. 15 games. We have never been in that kind of position before. I mean, it was a giant leap, even though the record went from 8-8 to 9-7. The leap in improvement and competitiveness was much greater than that. And so just in evaluating everything, I believe Gary Kubiak can take us to the Super Bowl. I think Matt Schaub can take us to the Super Bowl. That's what we're here to do, and so that's the question that we have to ask ourselves: can these people get us there? And if we're convinced they can get us there, then we need to stick with them and be supportive of them and try to give them the tools that will let them do it. And the other thing is that when you make change, we did that once, you know, with Dom Capers, and it just sets you back so much when you make a change. I mean, you better be convinced that you've got the wrong people in there, and there are other people who will make a significant difference, because you're going to set your organization back when you go in and make those changes. So, but I felt that in looking at everything, that Gary can get us there. He's not perfect, you know, but you know, there aren't many guys around that you look at that you could say are better coaches.
2 final questions for me. Do you consider some around the NFL thinking this is a calculated risk? Because if you look at the history of NFL coaches, usually if they're not 4 years into a playoff spot, they're usually looking for work. Do you find that you're doing something different than perhaps other owners?
Cowher at Pittsburgh, he was there, you know, for a number of years, and he didn't win. And there have been others that have done that and then turned around and had tremendous winning streaks. So I think what you have to look at is, what did the coach have to work with when he first came there? You know, we started out as a franchise team, and even though other teams might have only won 3 or 4 games, all of them have at least 8 or 10 foundation players that are, you know, that were All-Americans in college, that were outstanding players. Everybody had them. Now, the difference is the teams that get to the Super Bowl and the playoffs have probably got 20 players. But they started out with 8 or 10. We started out with 0. And it just takes time to get that foundation. And so that's what you got to look at. Sean Payton's done an outstanding job in New Orleans. Now, my hat is off to him, and I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. In the last 4 years, he's done a better job than we've done, okay? My hat's off to him. But he also had more foundation players than we did, or Gary did, when he started. And so you got to take that in consideration. What are they working with? They can't do magic. You know, it's like Frank Howard used to say, you know, you can't plow if you don't have the horses. And that's true. You got to have the people that can make it go.
All right, last question. Everyone talks about this uncapped year in the NFL. Is this going to be chaos, or are we maybe overblowing what this is going to be like in terms of trying to figure out who's making what, how salaries are determined in the NFL this year?
No one really knows. No one knows what will happen, but I believe that that things will be pretty much in line with what they've been in the past. I don't think people are going to go out and do anything that's crazy. Number one, the clubs don't have the money. I mean, we can't afford to do it. So that's a restraint right there. But I think it'll be pretty much business as usual. I'll be surprised. Now, you always have some people who jump up and do something that, you know, we might think is crazy, and we could still see that. But I don't think that it's something that you're going to see across the league.
Thank you for the time.
Okay.
Take care.